When they asked him that, James quotes Bobby Kennedy as having said that this would be a meaningless moral gesture, which obviously shows, you know, how little he values a young black girl's life. But I mean, are we surprised? No, I'm not surprised. And this is the part that, oh my God, this is the part that literally shakes me to my core, you guys. Listen to Lorraine's response. This is why I love black women, and I will always, always, always be in solidarity with black women. I am a black woman, but she asked Bobby for a moral commitment to do what's right, no matter how uncomfortable it is to him, no matter how uncomfortable it might be to the nation. He could have set a precedent. He had an opportunity to set a precedent. She says, and I quote, "I am very worried about the state of a civilization which produced the photograph of a white cop standing on that Negro woman's neck in Birmingham." There's a very popular photo that came out in the 60s of a woman, I believe she was protesting, maybe somebody can fact check me, but I believe she was protesting, and there was a white cop who was standing, like kneeling, just in the same way that, you know, Officer Derek Chauvin did. He was kneeling on her neck as well. Profoundly, almost 60 years later, I stand before you all, enraged like many of you, at the state of a country that produced the video of the lynching of George Floyd. How 3 cops stood by and listened while George pleaded for his life. 60 years later, you guys, and they're still standing on our necks. Do you know why? Because they never got up in the first place. They barely let us gasp for air in the first place. I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't watch the video for several days. Even now, just thinking about it, I'm shaking. I think those of you who are close by can see my bodily, my physical reaction to this. But I could not watch the video for several days. And when I finally did, I remember feeling so hot, like so hot. I think I was wearing like a robe or something. I took it off. I wanted to just like completely just undress. Like I was so hot. Immediately my body started to burn up. My stomach felt like lava. I felt so dizzy and nauseated, you know? And I realize now that that was a trauma response. That was a trauma response. My body was literally responding to a trauma. And these last two, I'm sorry. Thank you. I remember crying my eyes out while hearing his pleas go ignored. I remember crying in a way that I had never cried before, not necessarily out of sadness, but more so helplessness, more so rage, outrage. I knew how the video would end, and yet I still prayed for a different outcome. Many of us did. These last 2 weeks, I found myself teetering between grief and a deep sense of urgency. I'm grieving the loss of my brother George, though I've never met him. I'm grieving what it means for us as black people to live in this country. I'm grieving because it doesn't, like, I love history. I'm a history nerd. Anyone who knows me knows that. But it doesn't, I could open any page in the autobiography of Malcolm X. I could open any page in the autobiography of Assata Shakur. I could point to any line, and whatever they were angry about, whatever, rightfully so, whatever they were protesting about, whatever injustices plagued them, still plague us today. 60 years later, 70 years later, 80 years later. If they were alive, they would be 80, 90 years old. What has changed? I am tired. Aren't you guys tired? I'm tired. I'm tired of coming. I love seeing your beautiful faces, but I'm tired of coming to protest. I'm tired of speaking. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired. I'm never going to be tired of being black, but I am tired of having to explain my blackness. I'm tired of having to make space for people who don't want to make space for me. I'm tired of some folks in the non-black Muslim community. I'm gonna be honest. I told you y'all ain't gonna like what I have to say. I told you, I'm not sugarcoating nothing for nobody. Malcolm X, Rahimahullah, if he were alive today, I promise you, the Muslim majority would not like him. They would not. We want to reveal him. We want to revere him now. We want to hold him to a pedestal now, but he was not liked by his community. He wasn't. And that was the mostly black community. So imagine this one. I don't even know what to say. But all I know is, if you are a young activist, I urge you, don't feel like you need to be liked by anybody. Yep. Allah likes you. Yes. Allah loves you. And that's all that matters. Yes. I promise you. Wow. You don't need to pay into respectability politics. None of that. None of that. Especially if you're a black organizer. Please. If you forget everything that I said today, please just remember that part. Please. As I heal and I continue the good fight, I am giving urgency to black people and black people only. Quite frankly, I do not have the energy to give it to anybody else. And I encourage every black Muslim here, every black person here, to invest in yourself. If the non-black people in your life are apolitical or they're remaining neutral on this very clear human rights issue, there's absolutely nothing you can say that will change their mind right now. Focus on you. Focus on healing. Focus on what it means to wake up every day exhausted because you know you're living as a black person in this country, as a black Muslim person in this country, all right? Prioritize what matters. To all of my non-black Muslim sisters and brothers here, I love y'all, but again, I'm gonna keep it real. And if it offends you, then maybe the shoe fits. Maybe you need to look internally and see why it offends you. Please, 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 stop saying people of color when you really mean black, okay? They're not synonymous. They're not interchangeable. They're not nowhere near the same. And if us coming here today, if y'all forget anything else I said today, please remember that part. They are not interchangeable. Please learn why. Don't ask me. Don't ask any other black person to teach you. Google is a fabulous resource. It's a fabulous resource. Ain't nobody educate us. We had to go out and educate ourselves. So y'all need to take that burden off of us and put it on you, and put it on your folks and your people. You don't have to pass the mic. Just turn yours off. Just turn yours off. We don't need you to have to step down from your podium and give it to us. We have our podiums. Yes. You just need to open your eyes and see. Yes. We have our podiums. We have our platforms. What you need to do is listen to us. Yes. We've been speaking. Yes. We've been in echo chambers where people look like us and talk like us and think like us. If you want to be invited into those spaces, if you want to come into those spaces, listen. That's what you gotta do. Focus on correcting anti-blackness within yourself first and foremost, and those closest to you. And I promise you, you don't need to tell me that your grandma said Abid or Khalu or whatever in 2008 and you corrected her. I really don't need to know. Please don't tell me at all, actually. Please. I don't need to know the harmful and racist language that your friends and your family members engage in. You don't have to regurgitate that information to prove something to me. The only thing that does for your black friends is harm them. It emotionally harms them. So that's on you to take care of that. If I call you my friend, and a lot of you are my friends here today, then I trust that you'll handle it. I trust that you're not going to let that behavior go unchecked. Otherwise, you're not a friend. Because I use that word very intentionally. When I call you my friend, I have a set of standards that I hold you by. You're not a friend in that case. You're a classmate, you're an acquaintance, you're a coworker, you're a Muslim brother and sister in Islam. You know, even that has its own set of standards if we look deeply in our deen. But like I said, I hold my friends to a higher standard. The last thing I want to say, I know I've been up here for a minute. I'm feeling like I can't breathe again, but the last thing I want to say before I pass the mic to our beautiful and lovely organizers is to thank our beautiful and lovely organizers themselves. I am so honored and so proud of, I thought that said Blue Lives Matter. I was about to knock that out of your head. I didn't see that was you, Zemzem. I love you. But this is triggering. Okay, so I gotta get back into the right mindset. I was on something real quick. Okay, I remember now. So the last thing I want to say is, subhanAllah, black women, black Muslim women, we often get ignored. We often get forgotten, even by black men sometimes. I want you guys, as you are doing this research, whether you're black, whether you're not black, I want you to pay particular attention to black women, civil rights leaders, black women who are empowered by black radicalism, both in the present, both in history. it doesn't take much to find them because we exist and we've been here. And black men, I love them. I love y'all. First of all, I don't even have to talk about them. I can talk to them. They're here. Black men, I love you guys so much. But I need y'all to show out and show up for us the way that we've been showing up for you, the way that we always show up for you. I need you to amplify our voices the way that we've been amplifying your voices, okay? I want you guys to remember Breonna Taylor. She would have been, if memory serves correctly, 27 today, right? Her birthday is today. And, you know, I don't want to take away anything from the pain of George Floyd's murder. I don't want to take away anything, but black women exist too. We've been here, we will be here. I need y'all to make better space for us, okay? I need you guys to individually take into account what you do and what you don't do and how that contributes to the status quo, okay? I want to end it with dua because I'm Muslim and we believe in prayer for everybody. I have never made dua against anybody in my entire life, in my 23 years of life. Never. Until George Floyd's murder surfaced. You know, I've never. And I'm not going to sit up here today and make dua against anybody right now. I think that's somebody else's job, somebody else in the lineup, not me. But I do want to say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to have prophetic empathy, prophetic justice, prophetic beauty, emotional intelligence, a just world, a beautiful world. May Allah give us the ability to stand up against any type of oppression, even if it's against our own selves. May Allah not make us cowards. May Allah I'm telling God personally.
Yes.
How much.
No, let's give it up for Selma one more time. So Selma started her speech by saying that she might offend folks on what she said, but not a single lie was told. We know what's in their hadith. We know what our prophets time and time again went through. Every day when we pray, we read you stand in front of Ilahi and you don't make that happen, I'm sorry. Day in, day out, and you have nothing to do with that, and you don't want to fix that. You are 100% a hypocrite, and you will. Why I'm gonna make dua. If we don't stand, all of our prophets, every single one of them made the world a better place. After they, like, during that small chat, the United States of America bombs us, where they kill us, where they portray us like terrorists, like what we have. State doesn't matter. People feel about black people, regardless if they're educated. Or hated or not, it's on us to do our justice. We can make a better world for all of us, and we need to University of Minnesota. Give it up for Matt. Ahmed.
My stomach was just turning itself over, and all I could do was just sit and pray in my room. The light was dim. I'm for our Somalis. Harder.